we have coming up is a favourite. Anyone that saw, if you remember, the Laurel and Hardy films, and you remember the car they had in the Laurel and Hardy film? What is it? The Model T Ford. This is 1923 Model T Ford. It's the first standard model in auto history. It was the first mass-produced vehicle, the first popular car designed by J. Garland and H.J. Willis 5 years after Henry Ford launched the company. And it put the United States, it was said at the time that it actually put the United States on wheels. One interesting thing is that Henry Ford was able to get an assembly line. It was an assembly line designed by a guy called F.W. Taylor. And after he put the Model T Ford on the assembly line, he was able to reduce the assembly of the car from 12 hours, listen to this, from 12 hours to just over 1 hour to assemble the car. And Henry Ford was so astute that he ordered his tyres from, obviously a manufacturer of tyres. But one of the conditions was that you had to supply them in a wooden box. And he issued the dimensions of the wooden box. And anyone know why he issued the dimensions of the wooden box to the tyre supplier? The floor, exactly. He used the wooden box sides as the floor for the Model T Ford, so the tyre manufacturer was actually supplying the floors for the Model T Ford without knowing it. Anyway, this is Pat O'Connor, and congratulations, Pat. It's lovely to see this car. Tell us something about the history of it.
Well, it's 1923 and it was first registered to the Dublin Metropolitan Police in 1924. Now, it was owned by, they had it for a long time, and then it was owned by Dr. C. Donovan on 8 Blackwell Street in Dublin. There, it's, he kept it till the mid-40s, and it was running up then for 58 years. So,
He was a doctor in the Richmond Hospital.
Yeah, that's correct.
And tell me, what had you to do with the car when you got it?
I completely remember it.
Okay, and how long did that take?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. And were you able to do it yourself, or did you have it professionally done?
I've done everything except for the seating.
Except for the seating. And what was attracted you to the Model T?
Well, it's a Garda car.
A Garda car. And were there many of these in the country at the time?
There was 2 registered Dublin Metropolitans. There was this one and another one, YI4016.
And did they actually have the police sign on the car?
No, it was attached to the detective unit. I was talking to an old mechanic that was in the Garda depot in the 1920s, and he told me that there was 2 cars, as far as he remembered, two one of these, and they were attached to the detective unit.
Tell me, what sort of driving do you do in this now? I mean, would you take it out most weekends during the summer, or have you done any long drives? Have you done like the Gordon Bennett or any long Irish drives?
Well, I had it finished for the Terenure tournament, the 100 years Terenure, and that was his first go-on drive out. That was his maiden voyage.
And have you any plans to take it on any longer trips?
Well, I suppose so, someday, when I get enough courage.
Okay, thank you again. Look at the Model T Ford again as it drives around there. And boys and girls, have a look at that car. If you can see any of the Laurel and Hardy, the old films, you will see the Model T Ford in it. Listen to that engine as it turns around there. It's marvellous. And incidentally, another story about the Model T, well, Henry Ford, which a little bit of useless information for you, is that when the Volkswagen Beetle was launched, there was a meeting of the motor manufacturers in the UK, and Henry Ford attended that meeting. And apparently they decided they had nothing to worry about with the Volkswagen Beetle. They said it was so ugly and so noisy it would only last 2 years. And that was Henry Ford actually was quoted as saying that way back when the Beetle was launched. And look at it, still here with us today. Now, next coming around is an interesting car, an Austin 12.